Oh.
You're not important enough for me to know who you are. That's the thing. Welcome back to Truth Hurts, where we expose corrupt politicians and the lying corporate media. I'm Jake Duesenberg, your host, broadcasting live from Roseville, Minnesota, in the belly of the beast, the liberal zombie apocalypse of Minneapolis and St. Paul. Joining me, reading the comments today, not Mega Jesse, he's out of town. Joining me for the first time reading comments is Representative-elect Drew Roach. How you doing there, buddy?
Not too bad. Thanks for having me.
Do you think you're up for the task here? This is a very important task.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know.
You're not.
I think I can handle it.
You're no Bridget. I'll put it that way. Already, we can tell you're no Bridget. Joining me for the dozenth time on the show, State Senator and Beaver Eater Nate Wesenberg. How you doing there?
That's right. I'm good. Hopefully, Drew can read better than some other representatives that don't read bills and just pass them. We'll find out.
Yeah, that's what we should do. We should pull up a bill on his computer, and that way we know he read it, right? Running the dials, Mr. Deep State himself, Dawson. How you doing there, buddy?
I'm doing good. I just learned that Hanukkah this year starts on Christmas Day for the first time in like 100 or 2 years.
I'm just kidding.
It's exciting.
Joking. By the way, he's going to be leaving soon to go out to the East Coast to get footage of drones. So anyhow, we got him on a special assignment out there on the East Coast. Isn't that right? That's exactly why you're going there? No other reason?
I'm also going to visit the B&H store, which is run by Jews. I'm very excited for that.
Are you really going there?
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm going.
That's super technical. No one knows what we're talking about, but that's.
I'm going to Manhattan.
We buy from them, right?
So if you have a drone, you're going to fly up and look at them?
Yeah. If you'd like to be part of the conversation, we'll be reading comments on Rumble. That is Representative-elect Drew Roach reading your comments on Rumble. If you want to interrupt us anytime with a comment, hit that Rumble rant, and we'll go live and read your comment. If you're not watching the show live, most of our audience doesn't watch it live, you can support the show by going to truthhurtsnews.com and click on support. You can become a premium subscriber. Today's post show, which is for premium subscribers only, we got some really interesting, I don't know if we call them gossip or rumors. They probably are true on some of the inner workings of Immin GOP, we'll put it that way. So some really interesting stuff. If you're not a premium subscriber, sign up today. It's $8 a month or $88 a year. We also couldn't do the show without our great sponsors today. Warren Wessel of Keller Williams Realty. If you're looking to buy a home or sell a home, give my good friend Warren Wessel a call at 612-419-7453. And if you're buying home, go with the good guys at John Galt Mortgage Company. We're going to have Andrew, and I think Tim's zooming in on our final show of the year. These guys built a sweet-ass company called John Galt Mortgage Company. If you know who John Galt is, you understand their philosophical belief system. And they're not afraid to hide behind, this corporate veil that everyone does with politics. So go to johngaltmortgage.com. Also brought to you by Alpine Chemistry in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Let's get into it here. Guys, is it just me, or are we seeing some momentum on the good guy side all of a sudden? You feeling this?
I think we're working towards some good stuff happening nationwide and in the state. Are you talking about the bill that we stopped with Elon Musk, or what are we talking about?
I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about you guys were both at our Christmas event, actually, Philly's Christmas event.
Yep.
The energy in that room was great.
Yep.
By the way, what is the deal with your ties? Why do people actually want your ties?
They're awesome.
Are they? He always auctions them off, and they go for hundreds of dollars. It's crazy.
That's right.
They want the Beaver Man's tie.
Ooh.
You needed a beaver tie.
Next year.
That's your fame now.
Yeah. I was almost going to bring the flag that I made for my office. I'll have to send you a picture.
You do that, Nate.
I will.
We've already got some comments coming in.
Let's go to the comments. Yep.
S. Dutton89 says, wow, some real hotties on set today.
I'm always on set, Sarah.
She sounds like a hot babe herself.
She? How do you know it's a she?
I'm just assuming so.
I can hear her laughing out there. She's in the green room right now. Tell me we have more comments than girlfriends and moms and fiancés and wives. I mean, geez. We do have some viewers right there. Cindy Lou's there.
Cindy Lou says the momentum is real. Yes, Cindy, grassroots is winning, and we're going to continue to win.
Well, I mean, then, 2 days after the Christmas event, you have David Hannigan fired by, the state central delegates. And, It seems to me the liberty movement is on a rise in Minnesota. I think we all have something to do with that, to the point where David Hand was being thrown overboard. And I don't know. I mean, I am hopeful for the new image GOP chair, Alex Plekesh. We did invite him to come on the show. We'll see if he does. Let's just assume that he's going to be somewhat better than Hand. Maybe he's a lot better than Hand, but Hand was the worst. I mean, that guy was terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I do know why. I mean, establishment people like to have their money go somewhere. So you got a millionaire giving the MNGOP money, so we have to do what they say, and that's not the way it should be. And the grassroots are pissed off, and they're waking up, and we have to wake up more people and say that this is why things are going the wrong way. You got a couple people with a whole bunch of money that are throwing it around, and well, we have to do what they want. That's not the way it should be.
It's funny that you bring that up, because right now the left's contention is you've got the world's wealthiest billionaire throwing money at politics and controlling Donald Trump. Now, I don't think anyone with an open, honest mind would say someone controls Donald Trump.
Right.
But you can't ignore the fact Elon Musk has got a lot of influence over our political landscape right now. Go ahead.
Oh, we got a Rumble rant. Failed candidate says MN Doge Caucus. Make it happen.
What do you guys think? You guys want a joint Senate and
Cut
House
the fat?
caucus? You guys could start it.
Yeah, I don't want another government program to take out other government programs. So
Well,
as
he's
long
talking about
as-
a caucus. That's just a
Sure,
meeting.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
That's just a
For
meeting.
sure. We just, got to hold other legislatures accountable.
This show started a Doge account from Minnesota, so we could work with you guys and feed you information about what we think needs to be cut. I got lots of ideas in that category,
Yeah.
by the way.
Cut it all.
I love it. What's Amy Stevens have to say?
Amy Stevens says Jake's desk looks nice, but that tree is weak.
What tree? I don't have a tree.
The one behind me.
Oh, the one.
Look, you had
I think.
you had a Jewish person decorating the Christmas tree. It's not gonna turn out great.
Maybe we need to have a training.
Yeah, along with everything else they run. By the way, for those that don't know, he is Jewish. That's the
If
joke.
you didn't know, yeah,
Jeez, before we get the
Well, and I-
anti-Semitic word here.
I don't, we had Walter Hudson endorsing David Hand, who's his boss. Like, yes, keep my boss here so I can keep my job. That's pretty weak. And then he endorsed Kip. Now, I don't understand Walter, how he says he's speaking for the grassroots. He's not. Maybe the grassroots where he is like different people, but you're literally trying to save David Hand, who's a cheater, and they literally cheat during caucuses and everything else, and they silence everybody's voices, and you're saying you're trying to support the grassroots. It's a load of. I just don't get that guy.
Isn't it funny how Meg and Jesse's not here today, but we still bring up Walter Hudson?
Well, I mean,
Did you feel like you needed to because Jesse's not here?
Well, no, he's literally not speaking for grassroots. So that's
Yeah.
what pisses me off. Is the MNGOP is paying him $40,000 a year to go around and lie to people at BPOUs and say, "Oh, I'm here for you." No, he's not. He's full of shit.
That sounds just like him.
Well, I go around.
I didn't notice he had a high-pitched voice.
I don't get paid $40,000 a year for going around to different BPOUs around the state and saying I'm going to talk for you. That's his job, is to infiltrate BPOUs and infiltrate the state and make you think that he's speaking for you. He's not speaking for you. He's
Well,
trying to pull it the other way.
Let's part ways from Walter for a
Right.
second, because I was going somewhere with this. So, you bring up this money that's influencing him in GOP politics, and there's no doubt about that. That's happening. The left is up in arms about Elon Musk right now. Clearly, he's in charge. I mean, I'm not saying that Trump's not in charge in some degree, but it's like Congress just literally shut down this omnibus bill, which, by the way, who's the majority whip, right? Tom Emmer. His job was to pass that crony bill. So, left's all up in arms, and I actually don't blame the left on that. I actually think it's a smart thing for us to be very skeptical of the uber wealthy trying to buy politics.
Yep.
The difference here is what Elon Musk was advocating for is stopping a crony bill written by lobbyists who work for wealthy people. Like, that's the funny thing about the argument for the left is like, oh, how dare this world's wealthiest man, this billionaire, stop this bill that we've been working on. I'm like, who worked on the bill? It's lobbyists. And lobbyists don't work for poor people. They don't work for you and me. They work for the uber wealthy. So it's like we're getting screwed by that. But in the end of the day, I have no idea how history is going to be writing about Elon Musk. I can only judge what I see right now, and it seems to be he's doing good.
Right.
Yep.
It's scary because, yeah, I mean, he's the world's wealthiest guy, and it seems like he'll be at a level beyond comprehension in no time with all the things he's got developed.
Yeah.
So that is a valid criticism. You know, it's like, remember Occupy Wall Street? The left was correct when it came to their frustration with Wall Street. Wall Street was a rigged game. It was corrupt. The problem was their solution was way off. Their solution was, well, we need Marxism.
Right.
And it's like, I would occupy Wall Street, and I got a criticism against Wall Street, but the solution is the free market system, not Wall Street rigging it with the government, because that's what happened. That's what caused the Great Recession. Well, it's the same thing here. Is like, you know, I don't like the wealthy buying off politics, but the solution isn't, what, 15,000 page? What was it? 50, I think it was 15,000.
Yeah, it was a huge bill.
It was a huge bill
Full of more
written by
garbage.
lobbyists that has everything under the sun under that's no good and adding to our government debt. That can't be the solution.
I mean, there's a lot of guys like Elon saying the same thing. He just has the voice because he's got the money to get his voice out there. You
Right.
know? And which is fortunate for us that he stopped it, and hopefully he does good with his eliteness and not bad. And so far, it's been showing to be good. Now, if he starts doing crap that is good for him but bad for other people, then we got to call that out and stop it.
Oh, that's actually a good way to put it. Yeah. You know, so maybe he does benefit from what he's advocating for because he probably is. But is it benefiting everybody?
Right.
And it should be, right?
Right.
And I think it is.
Right.
Unless you're a government leech, and if that's the case,
Great.
yeah, right. That's not helping our country. It's
Right.
making
We got some more comments coming in here, a whole bunch. Mar T1967 says Walter Hudson needs to be talked about.
Okay.
And
Mega Jesse's convinced everyone.
yeah, another person says I can't understand half the time so hoity-toity. S.89 says Walter sucks. They thought he thought he could come in and get CD2 under control. He learned fast. It didn't work. CD2 is a whole nother ballgame, right?
Yeah.
It's about as grassroots as it gets. We don't like Emmer and his cronies coming in and telling us who to prop up. We pick our own people there.
Right. And that's what it comes down to. You got congressional people, and their staffers are working for them, and their staffers happen to be the CD chairs. And it's all cronyism. And when you're getting paid by a congressman and you're a CD chair and you can control who the delegates are, that's not free and fair elections. Even though we're the party of free and fair elections, it's not what it is at all.
Yeah.
Let's fix our own party.
Yeah, we got a bunch more. So Cindy Lou says we need a local Elon and Vivek from Minnesota.
Minnesota
Minnesota.
ski.
Let's see here. Musk for Speaker of the House. I don't know about that.
Could do it. They
So
could.
did you hear Elon Musk said whoever runs against any rhinos anywhere, he'll pay for their campaign.
I'm well aware of that,
Right,
Nate.
so-
I retweeted that. I couldn't retweet that enough. And then I reminded Elon Musk, the person responsible for actually whipping votes for that crappy omnibus bill, and that's Tom Emmer.
Yeah.
We have to remember, that's Tom Emmer's job, is to whip votes for it. Now, Tom Emmer failed tremendously yesterday
Yeah.
because he's going up against Elon Musk. Although, I don't think Tom Emmer cares. I mean, this guy doesn't have principles.
Right.
He'll just do what he's told. And yesterday he was told not to do it.
He's the big pusher for getting rid of. He's the big pusher for national popular vote.
Well, I don't know. He probably isn't anymore.
Well, he was.
Yeah.
Man,
was
people
last
are
year.
going hard on Walter, boy. I tell you what. Failed candidate says Walter's a turncoat and lacks integrity.
Wait, where in my notes does it have Walter on here? What the? How did this end up?
Yeah.
Billy 22 says Musk is basically a defense contractor. Not only that, but the largest U.S. defense contractor. And Amy Stevens says anything Walter touches turns to shit.
All right.
All right. Speaking of turning to shit, the first thing that was on our notes today to talk about, this is a very interesting story. This is in the Star Tribune. I think it was published yesterday. I didn't see it till this morning. There are tensions in the governor's office. Walz-Flanagan partnership on ice since governor's failed presidential bid. I love reading that headline, since Walz's failed presidential bid. Does it ever get old saying that? Governor Tim Walz and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan. By the way, she's Indian. Did you know that? She is Indian.
Really? Yes, I know.
She should say it sometime.
Yeah.
I don't know if you did. You know that
She says
she
it a
is
couple
Indian.
times a day.
So
Yeah.
she claims.
So we all understand that.
Like-
Not like she would ever tell you that 100 times. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say like legit Indian, or did she? Is this like a
No,
fake
she's
22
Native
and
American.
Me,
She
23 and Me?
No.
I think
Like
I don't.
2%.
Are you saying we should challenge this?
Well, I mean,
Like
I'm
Pocahontas?
not there. That's what I was kind of getting
Yeah,
at.
dude.
Pocahontas Indian, or what?
You know
what do you
when he
mean?
made that comment, it was to like some World War II veterans that were, I can't remember the group, but it was like a Native Americans that like honorably served in World War II in combat, and it was like some award for them, and that's where he said the Pocahontas comment. It's like Trump, man, he can't help himself. I mean, did you see his comment about Trudeau and being the governor of the 51st state, Canada? This is the president, incoming president of the United States. Oh, and by the way, it could get worse. It could be a lot worse. You know, look at who is kind of the president right now. My God. I heard someone say this. I can't remember who this was, but the rationale on where we are for Democrats on the big ticket is a string of people that don't want to be outshined by their running mate.
Yeah.
I never had heard it this way, but so Barack Obama, say what you will about Barack Obama. I disagree with that guy a lot. He's an impressive person, no doubt. 2008 campaign, very impressive, very articulate, right? Remember those days? He was quite the statesman, even though he was screwing you behind your back. But he was quite the statesman. So here you go. You got a Barack Obama picks Joe Biden as running mate. Now, not Joe Biden, today's Joe Biden, but still the Joe Biden who existed, the liar and the guy that just was not that impressive other than he's kind of relates to
doesn't want a jungle full of whatever riding on the bus with his kids.
There you go. So he doesn't want to be upstage, so he picks Joe Biden. Joe Biden runs. Joe Biden doesn't want to be upstage, so he picks Kamala. Kamala doesn't want to be upstage, so she picks the buffoon Tim Walz. And you know what? You could kind of make that same thing with Tim Walz. He doesn't want to be upstage, so his lieutenant governor pick is Peggy Flanagan.
Yeah.
And you see, it's this vicious cycle until you get to idiocracy, which I would guess
there.
we were at idiocracy already when Kamala became the candidate.
Yeah.
All right, so that's your Democrat side. All right, so Tim Walz and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, who's Indian, by the way, in case you didn't know that.
That's
She
right.
never mentions it. Haven't been seen together publicly in 7 weeks, and the two aren't communicating or meeting privately, a rift that coincided with his return from the national campaign, according to multiple sources close to the governor's office. The first public indication that something was amiss came just 3 days after the election. That afternoon, Walz gave his homecoming speech to staff, commissioners, and invited DFL guests at Egan High School. Flanagan wasn't there, and sources with knowledge of the situation said she wasn't invited. You know, listen, she's so irrelevant. I didn't even realize she wasn't there.
Sounds like we need to put forward a vote of no confidence in our governor.
That should happen a long time ago.
Well, yeah.
Instead, First Lady Gwen Walz introduced the governor with a short speech, a task that routinely fell to Flanagan for official governor events. I mean, in that case, this is not an official event. This is not, they weren't planning on this event.
Yeah.
We, people like us, gave them the ability to do an event like this by voting for Donald Trump.
Yep.
Then in his remarks, Walz thanked his wife, family, and staff. He did not mention Flanagan by name or title, even though she had spent weeks enthusiastically campaigning for the national ticket led by Vice President Kamala Harris and helped run the state while he was gone. Now, you are a state senator. Were you aware that she was helping run the state? I mean, what did she even do?
Nothing. No.
Okay, so, like...
There was no running the state at all. As a matter of fact, I was trying to work with people in my district, and the state of Minnesota was not contacting me and getting back to me about issues that we were having, like with mental health care, trying to help people get licenses and things, like zero communication, nothing back except for we're not doing anything right now. So no, they're not running the state. They're doing absolutely nothing.
Well, according to the Star Tribune, she was
they are
running
doing
the
something.
state.
They're embezzling lots of money.
Well, there you go. She oversaw that. Yeah, maybe Walz will throw her under the bus. This autism centers, this was when she was running the state. So let's see, where did I leave off here? Led by helped run this. Okay, Walz was asked in a recent interview if there was tension when he returned, given Flanagan would have succeeded him as governor if the Harris ticket had won. By that way, that was the scary part.
Yeah.
You know, there's this side that people had in Minnesota. They're like, you know, if Walz wins, we lose him. And I'm like, you don't know what you're getting in return. It ain't good. And then you got Bobby Joe Champion as the lieutenant governor. Although, once again, does that even matter? Lieutenant governors are irrelevant. They're pointless. I didn't even know she was gone for that event. I didn't even think of that. No, Walz responded. There would be time to figure out all that afterwards. I was solely focused on making sure the state of Minnesota was going. We were getting things done. The lieutenant governor was here doing the work that she needed to do, reaching out to community. I'm sorry I didn't communicate that. Sometimes I'm just a bonehead. Sorry, I added that last part in there. No, I'm sorry, knucklehead, not bonehead. Knucklehead. Sorry, that was not his quote. Sorry, don't want to misquote. Because that'd be such a shame if I misquoted Tim Walz.
You're right. As he's dancing around enthusiastically and jumping up and down.
We'll
like
never
Chris
see that
Farley.
again, right? That'll never happen again.
No.
I don't think
He's done.
You can't. He can't help himself.
Yeah.
He can't.
You know, I think the only time we'll ever see that again is if he's in a hot tub with a bunch of confirmed bachelors. I know stories. All right. Others who spoke on condition of anonymity said the Walz team was not pleased at steps Flanagan had taken to assume the governorship. I don't know what that means, by the way. Conferring with potential key hires and preparing for a possible run herself in 2026. If the people of Minnesota want me to continue to serve, I am absolutely open to that, Flanagan said at the state fair in August. The Walz camp was especially irked because Flanagan had tapped Walz's gubernatorial campaign fund without authorization for some work, multiple sources said. So she raided the campaign funds of the Walz campaign? Is that what they're saying?
That's what it sounds like.
I'm kind of curious what she did. Like, what was it?
Let's find out.
Some, like, dinners? Like, what?
Excuse
some
me.
Parties? What?
Probably went to, they got really good food at that one strip joint. So
That's what Royce says. I mean, this kind of fun. It's kind of like it's daddy's away. And so the
but-
teenage daughter is going to, like, throw a party. Like,
if
dad's not going to know.
But if she runs, I mean, that's good for us because, I mean, I would think.
Assuming we can win.
Well, right.
Which I think we can. I think we can.
Right.
Alex Blekesh, we can unite the Liberty Wing. Let's do it. Let's get rid of these people.
But who is it? Who wants to run for governor? Is it Murphy? One of the
Mike
senators.
Murphy?
What? Oh, a senator wants to run for governor. What's her name? Is it Erin Murphy?
Oh, yeah, Erin Murphy.
I think.
No, she actually got the endorsement in 2018.
Right.
Walz beat her in the primary.
So I think she's.
Sorry. Yeah, 20.
I think she wants to run.
2018,
I think it's her that wants to run again.
Oh, I'm guessing she does.
So-
yeah. She's obviously got those ambitions.
Right.
She's been a good little girl. I mean, now she's in leadership again. So,
Yeah.
yeah, good little girl.
Yeah, Back for Liberty says Flanagan champion 2026, maybe the only losing DFL ticket.
Yep.
And let's see here. Billy 22, maybe she sent the money to 1972-10 for communications work.
Well, see, now that Plekish is in control, let's find out what that is. I mean,
Yeah.
if he's a chair, I don't know why he couldn't push for that, right?
Michael Broadcorp.
Do you really think so?
I don't know. Who knows? It could be.
I just had this sent to me.
Who knows?
Broadcorp tweet. Oh, this is precious. Who sent this to me? Let me see if I can find it.
But while you're looking it up, the guy clearly hates Republicans. He's not a Republican. Why do Republicans continue to talk to this guy?
Well, many don't.
Well, because they're not Republicans, they're
Right.
rhinos, right?
Well, but
Right.
why are we doing that? Like, enough is enough, right? Like, quit giving him airtime. Quit propping him up. You're only making him, giving him a voice to be heard. It's like, enough with it. The guy's clearly not a Republican. And in 2026, if we have a whole bunch of Democrats that ran in 2024 as Democrats join the Republican Party, are they Republicans?
no, of course
No,
not.
they're not, right? So we got Michael Broadcorp, who's sitting here pretending like he's a Republican. He's clearly not a Republican. There are no Republicans for, Harris and Biden. I'm sorry. You can
Right.
say you're a Republican. You're a liar.
Oh yeah, I saw the
You're a phony.
Republicans against Trump tweet and I was like, I can't remember what it was about, but I was just like, I think they were upset about Elon stopping the bill, and I'm like, he's stopping a bill that grows government. Isn't that what unifies all Republicans?
Right.
Assuming you guys are actually Republicans. No, you're just Democrats, right? Yeah, pull up the A2. So those people that don't know Michael Brown. So look at that handsome devil right there. Apparently he watches the show. New Action for Liberty is taking credit for Imminent GOP Deputy Chair Donna Bergstrom winning re-election on Saturday. She's only there because of the Liberty wing, said A. Farrell. What does it say after that? A. Farrell also took credit for Alex Plekish's victory. Scroll up a little bit. I got a camera my way, Dawson. The other way.
A4L is toxic to the conservative and GOP donor community.
Yeah, and so isn't that interesting? We're toxic.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with the message that Walter and all these people put out. AFRL's so bad. No, AFRL's not bad. Conservative people with values pushing for freedom and for the people in the state to have their own destiny, not to be controlled by an elite class. That's what this is.
Correct.
Is we're trying to get the word out to people that you have a voice and you're not being heard because you got a bunch of shitheads that are running the show and they're changing your names on caucus night and they're throwing your votes away and they're doing whatever they want. When Aaron Ferris was counting, when we were standing and did like the count on Saturday, he's like, and then he writes like he didn't fucking count.
Yeah.
He just did this thing and then sat down and wrote down some number and he didn't count anything. I mean, you think we're stupid? We can't see that? My God.
Yeah.
They know we're not stupid, but they just.
I think maybe they do.
I don't know.
I sometimes wonder if they just underestimate us. I do.
So it's you got these people that want to be in power, and now their power is being someone is not going after that. They're trying to stop it because it's corruption. It's not power. They're getting it through corruption.
Yeah.
And that's wrong.
Correct.
That's not how government's supposed to run. The government's we the people.
Yeah.
Not we the person in Ottertail County who has $2 million and can tell everyone to go get bent.
Yeah. Yeah. Got a bunch more comments here.
Whoa. Easy there, state rep incoming. If you
He's
read
trying to show that
if you
he
read
can
every
read.
comment, it takes away their incentive to pay
right.
for a Rumble rant.
Sure. Okay.
There's a little bit of a song and dance here. We can't go out there reading the failed candidate and Brad Ganser comments every time. I mean, my God, there's no incentive for them to pay for a Rumble rant and help support the show, which really does help support the show. Gives us momentum, gives us a little more motivation, Brad, right? Go ahead and hit that Rumble rant, Brad. By the way, this is a good time for me to remind people you can win a pair of tickets, front row seats to Jordan B. Peterson when he comes to St. Paul at the Excel Energy Center, which is crazy. Like, he's selling out a lecture. Isn't that great?
Yep.
A lecture, and he's got good things to say. You can go to truthhurtsnews.com/JBP as in Jordan B. Peterson. Sign up, win those tickets. I want it from one of the people in the comments section. It's a random draw. We're gonna do it in January before the event. But I do want one of you guys that's in the comments all the time to win those tickets. But it is gonna be a random draw, so anyone can win those by entering there today. Now, if you got a lady friend or a guy friend, you're a lady and you got a guy friend, or you're
We got a Rumble rant.
I don't know. I think
Brad
he's gotta be at least
Ganser
five.
comes in with the Rumble rant for $1. Way to spend that $1, Brad. Jake, shut your mouth and let Drew speak.
I didn't even know Rumble rants were in
Read.
blue. What the hell's that crap, Brad?
$1 well spent, Brad.
That's true.
his credit card got charged more.
Oh man. Brad, you got to come on the final show of the year too. We got to get you in studio. Why would anyone not want to come to Action for Liberty Christmas event? You're gonna hang out with us. You hang out with Brad Ganser.
Get to
that
win.
S. Dutton, I think she was there.
Get to win an AR.
Yes, isn't that cool? All right. Where did we leave off? Oh, the Flanagan feud. This is just so great. So great point on Broadcourt, by the way. I mean, this guy is not a Republican, and yet some people think that he matters. Actually, I don't think he really does.
No.
I think there's maybe a couple people on Twitter that think he matters.
Yeah.
He does not matter. No activists know who the hell he is.
No.
So, and by the way, for those that don't know, this guy was such a disgrace. He had an affair with the Senate Majority Leader. So, that's why he fell out of the good graces of the Republican Party and then crashed his vehicle, got a Dewey. I mean, not a good guy.
Yeah, he's doing this to to really troll, right? He's trolling.
I think he's an. I think
for the
he's
most part.
No, I think. Well, I don't know him. I've had one conversation with him. This is like a decade ago, and I don't know why we were going at each other, but he calls me. I want to say that's how it happened. And he's like, "That was really hurtful what you said to me about me on social media." I was like, "Oh, this guy's a weak person." Like I had never met him, and that was the first thing he said. Like that was really uncalled for, very mean. It's like, oh, okay. I think he doesn't have much going on. I think he's just depressed that his life has spiraled out of control for his own choices. Listen, here's the thing. If Michael Broadcorp, well, clearly, Michael, you listen to this show, and thank you. Okay, I'll take a fan anywhere I can get a fan, right?
How about you come in with a rumble ram?
Yeah.
Here's the deal. If you have any ounce of decency, just get off Twitter. Leave politics. Work on fixing the things in your life that need to be fixed, right? Don't go around telling other people how they should vote and how they should think. You're not the guy to deliver that message. Look at your past history. Now, I'm a Christian, so I believe in forgiveness. I think people can turn their lives around, okay? You can turn your life around, but you're not in a position to start giving people advice. Certainly not on stuff like this. Certainly not on toxicity to the GOP brand. That is not your role in life. But, buddy, maybe it is. Maybe you could turn things around 30 years from now, and you could show that that's your role. But it certainly isn't your role right now. What's so funny?
I'm laughing because he's Republicans for Harris. Yes, that's great for the Republican Party.
Yeah, that's
Kamala
not
Harris.
toxic at all. You were trying to get him to have Kamala Harris as president and Tim Walz as governor.
God.
Like, that's you. Maybe you should sit this one out.
Maybe he's trying to be a comedian. I bet that's it.
Actually, it'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I'm still
I don't
waiting.
think so. He's not funny, but
I'm still waiting for his response to my email because he sent out that nonsense email to all the delegates endorsing Plekish, which we all knew was complete nonsense.
Yeah.
How did he get the delegate list?
he doesn't reveal his sources.
Oh, it's a
Yeah, it doesn't.
it's a 1972-10 theory. Huh?
By the way, that was everyone had the list because the Young Republicans did an email distro, and they didn't BCC everyone.
But
You know about that?
Broadcorp wasn't on that email.
Yeah.
So how do you get that email?
Someone just forward that on to him, and then he has everything.
Sure.
And, that could have been on purpose just to try to get things like what Broadcorp did to happen.
All right, well, let's go back to Broadcorp's favorite governor and lieutenant governor.
Yep.
Others who spoke on condition of anonymity said the Walz team was not pleased at steps Flanagan had taken to assume the governorship. I read this already.
Yep.
Okay, so they were irked that she spent funds that weren't authorized from the campaign. Had the Harris-Walz ticket. Go ahead and read that.
Billy 22, $10 Rumble rant. Who is Dan Hall? I see he is bashing A4L, and all the establishment legislators are forwarding it around fake Facebook.
Is he bashing A4L right now, or is this prior to the vote? Because I know
a couple days ago he said something.
After Han was taken out?
No, I saw something a few days ago.
Listen,
it was before State Central.
Okay,
so
well,
like a week
because there's a
ago.
Rumble rant, I'll address it. Because Dan Hall, I don't think has got a lot of relevance in politics these days. He was a state senator from Burnsville. I had no issue with Dan Hall. He was not a very good voting Republican senator. He'll tell you he's conservative. A lot of these guys tell you they are, but guess what? We actually score these guys, right? And our scorecards, actually for Liberty doesn't do a scorecard anymore, but it's a very simple scorecard to win on. They might bring it back, by the way. It's very simple to do well. All you have to do is vote for Liberty and vote against more government spending. Guess why Dan Hall was like a 17%? Because he voted for every omnibus bill that went across his desk. So how are you a conservative? If you keep voting for more government, you're not a conservative. Oh, by the way, those omnibus bills are against the Constitution, too. So he was a shitty voter, okay? He's retired. Don't care about him. Here's the problem. He's got some kind of ministries. He's got like this quasi-political group that's called the Ministry. You got to donate to Dan Hall Ministries, and he's the guy that's so pious and so righteous and wants to attack us because we're probably not good Christians like him.
One thing I would like to say,
and he probably still wields some power, but all he cares about is he thinks the guys like David Hand are good, upstanding people.
Right.
David Hand's a freaking liar. Is that even subjective anymore? It's very objective. He's a liar. And so we got problems with him.
That's why he just lost, and that's why establishment people left him, because they know that.
Right. I hope that answers your question, Bill.
Well, I get some emails from Dan Hall inviting me to events all the time, and I actually had RSVP'd to one, and then I found out Joe Librab was going to be there, and I had to respectfully decline, rescind me, going to that event because we support endorsed candidates, right?
Yeah. Well, so he was.
And I
supporting
can't
the
support
unendorsed.
someone that MCCL is a joke. They're not supporting life at conception. You can't come to Morrison County. You can't come to my county. You can't come to my district and say, I support life at conception, give me money. And then they don't. And now they're literally using a pro-choice person for social media saying, well, we're going to push to say that we can't have abortion up to birth. That's what the Republican Party is trying to push now is abortion. We can't have abortion up to birth. So 8.5 months, it's okay, but we can't have abortion up to birth. That's MCCL can be whatever they want, but just don't lie to people. If your organization is abortion's fine up to 7 months, then say that.
Sure.
Cool. You can do that, but don't tell people that you think that life begins at conception, take their money, and then use it to get people elected that don't believe that. And that's what they're doing. And that's what pisses me off when people go around and push that. Ron Krisha included, come to the Capitol with me on the 22nd. And we're going to push no abortion up to birth because there's millionaires that won't give money to the party if we don't push that. You know what? We got billionaires who will give money to the party if we go the other way. But we're too stupid to understand that these people exist. And we don't go, I know people like that, but I'm not going to ask them to give money to the Republican Party if we're not going to have values. Our Constitution says this thing, but now we have to change our Constitution because we think the purple ring in the cities is where we need to go. We got hundreds of thousands of people in greater Minnesota that'll vote Republican as long as we have values.
Well, so obviously, no, we'd talk about MCCL, and this reminded me. I know we brought this up on our show, but it's good to bring it up again. A3 Dawson, they cut a commercial with a pro-choice person, Michelle Tafoya, from NBC Sports fame, basically selling out on the pro-life movement. So this was a commercial saying that Republicans really aren't going to do anything about abortion. Imagine you solicit money from people who support you, who are legitimately pro-life, and you create a commercial like this, sell them out. This was run over and over again in the Twin Cities area. Go ahead, play it.
I've been in the media long enough to know a spin cycle when I see one. Democrats are running ads saying Republicans will ban abortions. Really? I know sometimes women have to make difficult decisions, but I also know Minnesotans want reasonable abortion laws. The truth is, the state Supreme Court has already ruled. Any abortion ban would immediately be declared unconstitutional, period. So when the Dems say there's going to be a ban, they're lying to you.
Can you imagine you're pro-life and your money went to create a commercial selling out? Like, that's insanity. But this is why the Republican brand is so harmed in Minnesota.
And I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's what your pro-life money is paying for, saying, well, we're going to support abortions now. It's not protected by the Constitution right now. It's still a lie. Right. And David Hand said that 2 years ago, which was a lie then. It's still a lie today. So when you're giving money to MCCL, they're making commercials like that saying, well, we're going to support abortions now. So stop giving MCCL your money.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's one organization out there that fights against abortion, and that's Minnesota Right to Life.
Yeah,
so that's for sure.
And they attack Minnesota Right to Life as like there's some fraudulent group. It's like, look, this is literally a commercial you created with donor money, which, by the way, they probably lined up some special donor that wanted to use them so that because, these Republicans, they just want to run away from abortion. By the way, we predicted on this show, abortion was not going to be the top issue. Stop selling out on abortion. People are going to vote on the economy and the border. And they did. But so many of these Republicans are so fearful. We can't embrace the pro-life movement because one election, essentially. Well, the 2022 election scared so many of these weak, spineless Republicans away from that issue.
So Suak ran against Dan Wogemot, and her thing she's anti-abortion, which is great.
Right.
But it's not the message like the economy. Talk about the economy. So she was going around talking to people about being anti-abortion, and she was razor thin to winning. Where we're saying we can't talk about it. She did that without help from HRCC because they just picked her because they thought it wasn't going to be something they could win. So they gave her no help. They might tell you they did, but they're lying. They came in at the very end and were like, oh, we might be able to win this thing. If we actually spent money where we should have, we would have won by 4 or 5 votes. But the Republican House is saying, oh, this is a win. No, it's a lost. We're tied. We could have won, but we wasted money just to save our buddies. We got to stop doing this. We got to listen to the people. We got to work for the people, not for our buddies. The government isn't about let's save our buddies. Well, this is just like the reason we left England.
Well, I hope that answers Billy Tutu's question, but and this is the thing is I'm sure Dan Hall would talk great things about MCCL. He probably goes to their fundraisers, probably tells them to donate to them. Meanwhile, MCCL sells out on you if you're a pro-life person, which I am, big 100%. So there you go. That's them. Had the Harris Walz ticket won, Flanagan would have faced a cyclone of work. Oh, God, that wouldn't be good. She wouldn't be good at a cyclone of work. Having to assemble a staff and prepare for the 2025 legislative session as Walz moved to D.C. With his top staff, Flanagan had not responded to a request for comment. In the past 7 weeks, there have been other public and private events at which Flanagan's absence was remarkable. She was not at the pre-Thanksgiving turkey event at the Capitol, nor was she at the 90-minute media reception with cookies and punch at the governor's current East Cliff residence. Flanagan and her family had attended both events in previous years. This is just Minnesota. That's so Minnesotan right there. She wasn't at the cookies and punch reception. Multiple members of the governor's staff declined to talk about the tension, but the public estrangement has been the talk of the Capitol. By the way, has it been the talk of the Capitol? You guys hear anything about this? Maybe it's just on the left.
I haven't heard that.
Okay. No. I was like, I hadn't heard this until this came out, so it must be the talk on the Democrat circles.
Yep.
Minnesota governors and their lieutenants run as a ticket, but that doesn't mean they're politically aligned or personal pals. Throughout their 6 years, Walz and Flanagan claimed to be a trusted partner, friends, from the day he walked into a Wellstone action class and she was his trainer. At official events, she was by his side. When Walz joined the national ticket, Flanagan vouched for him in interviews as a good governing partner. On the Monday before the national election and at a send-off for Walz at the Charter Terminal in Minneapolis-St. Paul, Flanagan posted on social media a photo of herself and Walz on the tarmac in front of his campaign plane. "One more selfie for the road," she wrote. "Go get him, buddy." After Walz's national loss, something shifted. On the Friday morning of his return, 3 days after the election, Walz convened a small meeting with his chief of staff, Chris Schmitter. That's his name, Chris Schmitter, his general counsel, Flanagan, and Dominic McQuarrie, who was then the senior advisor to the lieutenant governor, according to multiple sources who knew the meeting. None of the participants spoke about the meeting, but within a month, McQuarrie had left the office after nearly 2 years. His social media posts gave no explanation for his departure or an indication he had lined up new work. When Walz was asked in a recent interview whether he had fallen out with Flanagan, he deflected. Interesting stuff. Didn't know this. You can go read it for yourself in the Star Tribune. Bang up work by the strip.
I found out about this like yesterday, late in the day. I had no idea this was happening.
I mean, with a tied Minnesota House, 67-67. By the way, it looks like it's going to stay that way. I should have put this on the agenda. They had in the House District 54A trial. Is that the right term? Trial, hearing?
Something.
Hearing, I guess, would be a better way to put it. They found, of the 20 missing ballots, they found 12 voters that they were able to get testimony on. 6 voted for Aaron, what's Aaron's last name? Aaron Paul, and 6 said they voted for Tabke. So the math isn't there anymore.
But we can't prove that that was their ballots. How can we do that?
I would imagine they can, but I don't know the answer to that question. I would imagine there was a way to tell that those were the people because they had the ballot. What do they call that? The envelope.
So interesting.
I actually had an example, and I should have brought it on the set, but show people what it looks like.
Sure. I think it's interesting that Democrats want to come in and let people say how they vote when it's
so they were
convenient
anonymous.
for them.
No, they were anonymous.
Gotcha.
Because that is a big deal. That's a great point. So they were referred to in court documents as like voter number 5.
Gotcha.
But I don't know if the Republicans were challenging that those were the actual people. Anyhow, the way that's been written by the media seems to be that it doesn't look very good for the Republicans. I thought it was a far stretch anyhow. But
I think that other race, the Curtis Johnson race, I mean, that guy's clearly not from Roseville. Right? Clearly not. So something needs to be done with that. And that guy belongs in jail. I mean, I don't know what the punishment for lying on an affidavit like that, but
you think it is
he clearly lied and has continued to lie, and his wife, about where they live.
Yeah, I mean, certainly lying on the government document seems to be a problem. Of course, if the government lies to us, drones, it's not a big deal. Maybe we'll get into that in the post show too. I got some thoughts on where that's going. No, fantastic point by Representative-elect Drew Roach. So good to see you. Does it feel good to be done with the campaign and now you're going to get to do some actual business?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I love campaigning. I love getting out in front of the voters and connecting and, motivating people to get out to caucus and participate and get out to those parts of the districts that otherwise haven't had, their representatives come out there and talk with them. So I enjoyed it, but I mean, it was a lot of work. But yeah, I'm definitely, excited to get to work on the 14th and, do what we need to do. Continue to move this, grow this grassroots movement and get less government, not more.
Good. By the way, for those that don't know, we only invite legislators on this show that have beards and wear flannels. So just so you guys know that. Danny Nadeau, that's why we haven't had you on the show yet. You need to have a beard and wear flannel. I don't know why I brought up Danny Nadeau. A lot of people are very nice remarks about Danny Nadeau being a good parliamentarian.
They did. No, he was the chair.
Chair.
was
Sorry,
chair. I
chair.
think- yeah.
Oh,
They did-
who's the other?
Niska.
Niska. They both did a good job.
Yeah, everyone's saying how good a job they did.
They did, and they were fair.
Yeah.
And
Very
if,
fair.
if someone came up and it was the wrong time, they said, "This is not the time, but come back." It wasn't the Osmic, kick them out and throw them out on the street. No, they
I
said,
kind of wonder if Osmic is like, I don't want to go down with this shit show. You know, like why wouldn't he done it? He's done all these other crony things. You
Yeah,
want
I
to
don't
speak
know.
about guys that really shouldn't be lecturing other people. do you know the story of him? He lost his website. He didn't refresh his domain, and a porn site picked it up. And he literally did a mailer in his district, and this was paid by taxpayer. Go to davidosmic.com, or maybe it was a campaign website. Either way, it was davidosmic.com. Maybe I shouldn't say that because I'm guessing it's still in those hands. Anyhow, literally did a mailer in his district, and it said that, and it redirected people to a porn site.
Oh, my God.
Now, luckily, no one went to it because why did they care what he had to say? So it was a moot point, but like,
and
literally.
then he won.
This is what you stand for?
Dean Earl did the same thing. His website, went to a porn site as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
They let it.
What a platform.
Here's what it is. Next one is Emmer tries to pass omnibus bill. We already talked about this, honestly, so we're way out of sync here. I mean, we're just going on a wild road here with these guys. But honestly, Dawson, pull up my Twitter account real quick. This is my desperate attempt to get Elon Musk's attention. There's this thing on the Twitter. I'm relatively new to Twitter, in the sense that even though I've had an account since 2014, I stopped using Twitter a long time ago. I thought it was bullshit. And then once they were like clearly far left and just silencing the voice on the right, I didn't use it. But then when Elon bought it back, I'm like, I think it's going to be the Wild West. I think we're going to let opinions here. So I'm somewhat new to it. And from what I can best tell is if you can get people to, or if you can get Elon Musk to retweet you, it like blows up your Twitter account. Scroll down here, Dawson. Let's find the keep going. You're gonna look for Tom Emmer. That's a good meme there. There you go. All right, right there. Just in case I could catch Elon's attention, I want to make sure he understands exactly who is responsible for whipping the vote. That's literally Tom Emmer's job as majority whip, to get the votes on the omnibus bill, the one that basically died a sweet ass death. Now, I forgot about this. Right above it, let's play this video here. This is a great political lesson to teach here. This is a bit on Fox News about congressional Republicans responding to Elon Musk going after Republicans. Watch this.
A member of the House Republican leadership told Fox that Musk is not helping. The lawmaker added that Musk has bigger fish to fry than picking a fight with House Republicans.
There you go. Okay, so this is what I call the great political con, okay? I'm sure you've heard this. Drew, you probably heard it in your limited time in politics. The big con in politics is, hey, I'm not your enemy. The real enemy is the Democrats. You need to work with us to get rid of these Democrats so that we can have a governing majority, even though they do actually have a governing majority in this case. Actually, technically, the governing majority doesn't take place until the new year, which is also like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be doing this, right? So literally, They're using that on Elon Musk. I've heard this a gazillion times. Jake, you should stop attacking Republicans. We're on your side. You need to go after the Democrats. It's like, yeah. So if I listen to them, I am frustrated because Republicans not doing what they're supposed to do, i.e. they said they were going to shrink government, stop with these omnibus bills, and they're doing it anyhow. So I get on board with them and I start yelling at Democrats. Well, geez, now whose objective am I fulfilling? Theirs objective. I'm doing what they want me to do. I'm going after Democrats, their enemy. It's the big con. It's the big switcheroo. I mean, Elon Musk is a lot smarter than these guys. So obviously he didn't let up. But this is the thing, and this is why Action for Liberty is the way they are, is because they don't fall for this con. And so many people fall for this con because they don't know any better. They've never seen it before. But don't be duped by it. If a Republican is acting against what they said they were going to do, stay on target. Stay after them. Go after them. You know who believes in that is our great sponsor, Warren Wessel of Keller Williams Realty. You know, not only is it principled and believes the same things you and I do politically, he also sings my church choir. Isn't that great? And he's my realtor. Give Warren a call at 612-419-7453. That's not a joke. He actually sings in my church choir. That is a true story.
We had the kids had Delilah and Nora had their Christmas concert last night. It was good. The 4th and 5th grade band is a little ouch to the ears sometimes. But Lila's so my oldest is the only one playing flute, and she did a great job.
Can we get Tushy before the post show to come in and serenade us?
Maybe.
Because we were singing, what is this song? Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. What is that called?
Roasting on an open fire.
Tushy, if you're listening in the green room, it's called the Christmas song. We want to hear you. Acapella. Let's go over and go in the control room. All right. Let's move on to Articat, and then we'll go to the post show here. This is our Christmas show, by the way. Because Sunday's show is going to be from Rumble Studios. I'm trying to line up an interview with Scott Horton, talk about his book, great book on
Who's he?
Provoked. He was a Ron Paul guy, congressional office. I don't know if he's the founder or just editor of antiwar.com, but like a walking, talking encyclopedia on all things foreign politics in modern history. And he just published a book called Provoked. It's about how basically the West has provoked Russia into acting in Ukraine, basically by expanding NATO's wall, something I totally believe in, something that technically I participated in as a soldier, because in Kosovo, we were on the side of the Kosovar Albanians against the Russian-backed Serbians. And when I was there, actually, Kosovo declared its independence, unilaterally declared its independence from Serbia.
Yeah.
And so, we were against, by the way, we were supporting the ethnic Albanians, so they were Muslims, against the Orthodox Christian Serbs. But you know what? When I was there, I mean, those Albanians weren't like really big practicing Muslims. All the mosques, I mean, you would see some of the worst towns ever. I mean, just utter poverty. But you got this brand spanking new mosque, and I believe, I don't know if it was a rumor, I believe this was true, it was funded by Saudi Arabia. So they had money coming in to fund the mosque. But these guys weren't like devout. I remember we opened up our chow line after all my soldiers were fed to some of our interpreters, called them Terps. And I remember one of them going, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's like, "What?" He goes, "That is pork." And he goes, "Eh." I was like, okay, these guys are not.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, he's hungry, and hey, So, anyhow, no, they weren't like devout Muslims. In fact, their identity was more Albanian than it was Muslim.
Yeah.
But anyhow, all right. So this is an interesting story, and this is sad in many regards because, well, it's just sad to see Minnesota lose an employer. Okay, that's bad enough. So people are going to lose their jobs. It's also sad to see that a brand like Arctic Cat is going to be leaving Minnesota. And when I say that, I mean, it's not like it's getting shipped to Canada or something like that. It's just that the jobs are going away. They're responding to changes in the industry. But the other real sad thing is Arctic Cat went woke. And I'm not saying go woke, go broke here. I don't know if that's the deal. But it's not lost on me. So this was a story we covered on the show last year. Pull up the C1. This is on truthhurtsnews.com. Pride sponsoring Arctic Cat shutting down manufacturing in Minnesota. This was just announced this morning, by the way. I got to pull it up on my page here real quick. So you can go to truthhurtsnews.com if you want to check out this article. By the way, while you're there, you might as well sign up for those Jordan B. Peterson tickets. Longtime Minnesota company Arctic Cat announced that it is shutting down manufacturing operations in Minnesota at its plants in Thief River Falls and St. Cloud. Arctic Cat will remain open temporarily to sell current inventory and fulfill customer service. A press release from Arctic Cat's parent company, Textron Inc., reads, in response to the ongoing business conditions facing the power sports industry, Arctic Cat will suspend manufacturing operations indefinitely at our facilities in Thief River Falls and St. Cloud, Minnesota, after planned production in the first half of 2025 is complete. Go ahead and read that comment.
Failed candidate comes in with a $5 Rumble rant. I want to see Finky on a snow machine.
Why?
Isn't that what he does anyway?
Well, I was thinking, I think Arctic Cat just needs to start making e-bikes.
There you go.
Which I'm not necessarily against the
No, they're actually kind of fun.
They are, actually.
They are definitely fun. Man, you know, they make nice mountain bikes too that are electric bikes, and it's like, that's not even fair. Like, I went on a ride once with someone, it was just a bunch of us riding, and one guy had an electric bike, and I'm like, dude, you are not working as hard as all the rest of us.
He's not working at all.
Well, they do work a little bit. You still pedal, just assist.
I did think they were pretty lame, and then there's actually a company in Farmington that sells the e-bikes, and he's a good guy. Stopped in there and was talking to him one day, and he's like, hop on one of these things, try one. I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. Finally convinced me to go on. I start cruising around. I'm like, this thing's pretty sweet. How much is this thing? Right? Like,
How much was it?
Like $500. They started.
Oh, that's cheap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
550, 750. And then he started telling me about this subsidy that Minnesota had.
Oh, yeah.
$2 million subsidy. People could
like up to
apply
$2,000 or
for.
something.
Yeah, you can get like, I think it was up to 75% off an e-bike.
Nice.
Which is bullshit, but
Correct.
Why? Get your tax money
Government
back.
subsidies are not.
Whatever. Get your tax
well, I
money
mean, we
back.
shouldn't be doing that. But you know what's nice about bicycles is, and I don't know if you've ever done this, but if you have to like go way far back in a wildlife management area or something, rather than walking, just ride your bike for as far as
Oh,
you
yeah.
go, and then
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Although that's actually a contentious issue in the hunting community is the electric bikes now. Because guys would go back there with a bike.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, they're still working. But now with electric bikes, it's like, oh, geez, you're like, it's not a motorized bike, but it is a motorized bike, right? It's
Yeah,
got a
but
motor,
it's not.
But it's not
It's not gas.
It's not gas, right?
Right.
So
That would be like saying you can't have anything motorized with you then, right?
we don't have a camera on you, by the way, Tushy. So if you sing or something like that, we'll just. You know what? If he does sing, are you coming on to sing?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say if you start singing, then what we'll do is we'll make sure it scans to all of us. Tushy's got a hell of a singing voice, by the way. All right, so Arctic Cat went woke a couple years ago, as Action for Liberty reported. They were a sponsor of the St. Cloud Pride, which hosted a drag show that included reduced tickets for children. Attendees were encouraged to bring, quote, plenty of dollars to tip the performers. Market material also stated, please make sure our performers are respected by not touching, grabbing, hugging, unless you ask first. The company was also acknowledged as a bronze-level sponsor to St. Cloud Pride. Go ahead and pull that up here real quick, Dawson. You can actually see this is they were a 2022-2023 sponsors. Yeah, right there. Now go click on that Action for Liberty reported, by the way. And this was the original article. William did this. That was their promoting of an event. By the way, your tax dollars going to it as well, because NPR News and then Minnesota Housing. You know what? Here you go. Minnesota Doge. This is one thing we could do is get rid of Minnesota Housing, who just donates money to this stuff. But scroll down a little bit. What was so objectionable about this, you know, what?
I mean, can you scroll back up for a second? The one that sticks out to me is New Horizon Academy.
Right.
What is going on? Get your children out of there quickly.
They must have a hell of a salesman or woman, a sales day. They must have a hell of a sales day at this St. Cloud Pride, because that's a pretty impressive sponsorship catalog there. Amazon as well. Scroll down here. This was the event. This looks like it was June of 2023. I remember Nate, you were big about this. You even called the sheriff about this.
Yeah. Well, so
Centricare too.
this year it is 21 plus.
So we got to change. Good.
Yep.
Don't you love winning? Scroll down
Yep.
here. Now you'll see the promotion of this drag show event. Oh, where is it? You know what? Is this the second article we did on it?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. You see where it's hyperlinked we reported? Click on that. Yeah, that's the original one. So there you go. St. Cloud Pride Drag Brunch fundraiser. Tickets $30 for 15 plus. Sorry, does that say 13 plus? $15 for 4 to 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
And then scroll down and you'll see that they literally are encouraging people to bring dollars. And there's actually graphic images of the performers there, like a dude in a thong. Like, it's just so utterly stupid that you would even do this. But, like, talking about not touching the performers unless you ask first. And then, yeah, bring those dollars to stuff them in there. You know what?
Right. And that was my issues. We're asking minors to touch drag show people
Right.
and bring money for it. It's just illegal. It's wrong.
By the way, Arctic Cat didn't sponsor it in the more recent year. Now, I don't know if that's business conditions or they received a lot of flack, but I'll just be honest with you. I am a potential customer in this industry, and now the choice is taken from me because Arctic Cat is shutting down. But I wouldn't buy Arctic Cat because of that.
So are they?
Especially when you got Polaris that's right up there in the same area as another Minnesota.
I didn't
company.
read through the whole article, but are they shutting down just in Minnesota or everywhere?
Well, I don't know if they're beyond Minnesota. This
I think
says
they're
St.
just in
Cloud and
Minnesota,
Arctic Cat.
right? I mean, so let's just say, look at the business climate we've created for small businesses and what the Democrats have done. If Arctic can't even afford to try to weather it out for a little while, I mean, yeah, there's been, sales are down in snowmobiles and things, but people like the side-by-side market is huge and exploding.
Correct.
It's just massive, So then rather than selling snowmobiles, they go to that.
But I don't know many people that buy. I don't even know if Arctic Cat has side by sides. You would think they do because they got ATVs.
you think so, yeah.
But I don't know anyone that's got
There's
them.
mice in here.
Polaris has the market on those, at least in terms of Minnesota
Right.
companies.
But so 2 years ago, and I heard they want to bring it back, the Democrats had a bill to make it illegal to have trails, four-wheeler trails within 300 feet of water. So we killed that in like a couple days by contacting Polaris and Arctic Cat because they're Minnesota companies and everybody involved in that, and it got shut down. But I've heard they want to bring it back. So if anyone's listening, we got to get on again right now. You can't have a four-wheeler within 300 feet of water. I mean, we live in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I don't know an ATV trail that's dry.
Right. Then gas and food and everything. It affects everything.
Yeah. Yeah, and by the way, I also stand firmly that if you are on an ATV on a trail, you have every right to get rid of nuisance beavers and eat those
That's right.
beavers. So. You agree with that one too, She?
I'm pro beaver eating.
Yeah. Sounds like he's sitting on one right now.
All right, so here's the deal. We got some gossip for the post show. This is going to be good. Rumors, gossip, I don't know what it is. It's good. It's real good. So for those of you that are already premium subscribers, stick around for the post show. You're going to want to hear this. If you're not, go to truthhurtsnews.com, click on the top, hit support, and you could join. You'll get a free locals account. It's $8 a month or $88 a year. You get a month off, basically, if you get an annual subscription. I know a lot of our people want to do it that way. Also, you could go on Rumble and click join, and that's another way to do it. What do you got, Drew?
Well, Brad Ganser asked earlier, and you had touched on Sunday's show. Want to let the audience know when Sunday's show is going to be.
I think it's going to be at 6 o'clock on Sunday. Try not to compete with football. So we'll probably start at 6 o'clock. I haven't got confirmation Scott Horton's going to do it, so hopefully we could figure that out. Otherwise, it's going to be an interview because we're going to use a Rumble studio, so it'll be me and one other person. So I'm trying to line up a good interview for that one. So hopefully we can get that one. Otherwise, I'll announce who we'll have. I got another guy in mind that you guys know that would be fun to do a show with.
Read that bottom one there, Drew.
BDC 1450 says Harley Davidson Duluth just announced they're shutting down after 73 years.
Well, with all the
Thanks, Tim
global
Walz.
warming, there should be a lot more people riding motorcycles up in Duluth
Right.
these days, right?
Yeah. That's
Yeah, I mean,
Minnesota.
it's a bad business
Overregulation.
climate. It's a bad business climate in general. You're right on the money on that. But, yeah, I don't know the answer to that question. All I know is, like, literally, fuck Arctic Cat. If you're going to go woke like that, like,
Right.
I've got a big problem with that. first of all, you probably should know your audience, so don't sponsor a pride thing anyhow. That's dumb. But once they get into the children, that's where it's like, no,
Yep.
we're done. Like, that's where it crosses the line. If someone wants to have a drag show at night, adults only, whatever. I ain't going to go there.
Leave the kids alone.
Leave the damn kids alone. And you literally have tickets for 4-year-olds? Like, that's so ridiculous. So that's where I got a big issue with it. Otherwise, live and let live. Whatever you do as adults, as long as you're not harming me, I don't care. I shouldn't say maybe I care. I just don't think government should have a place, a role in stopping it, right?
Right.
As long as you're not harming someone else. But you got to leave the damn kids alone. That's the problem that I have. That is over-sexualization of our children. That's just a no-brainer. And they're so sick. You know, if we can go back to Tim Walz and Peggy Flanagan, they're so sick that they actually think that these kids know what gender they are when they're not, the one that they weren't assigned at birth, that they know well enough at 6-year-old what gender they are, and that you should hack up genitals or give them puberty-blocking pills. Like, that's who these people are. That's just evil. You know, it's interesting to see Europe now waking up to the nonsense of that.
Yep.
Like, it's being banned in Europe.
Yeah.
And this is happening in Minnesota under Tim Walz and Peggy Flanagan. I actually got something I want to talk about on that subject alone in the post show, because there's something interesting we were going to plan on do.
And I would just say, I just wish, as Republicans, we were very strong on that messaging and being willing to die on that hill as far as, standing out against that and being vocal. And I know a lot of us are, but as a party, right? Like, not being afraid to call that out.
Yeah.
Like, that is extreme. That's the most idiotic thing, that no one believes in that, right? They can gaslight and astroturf that messaging all they want, but the reality is the constituents of my district do not believe that at all. Tampons do not belong in boys' bathrooms. Boys cannot be girls. Girls cannot be boys. If you're an adult and you want to partake in that, so be it, but leave the kids alone.
Yeah, and if you're like a senator, and I'll just randomly pick one, Karn Housley, you should probably be there for the vote on it instead of having cocktails at a special convention in Duluth or in Detroit with a bunch of other legislators and former legislators. Just randomly picking a name on that one. Actually, I think the Senator Carla Nelson also has gone for that. She was pissed that we reported on it. Not the Patriot Carla Nelson, the Senator Carla Nelson. Thank you to our great sponsors, Warren Wessel of Keller Williams Realty. If you're looking to buy a home or sell a home, give Warren a call. Also, if you're buying a home, go to the good guys at John Galt Mortgage Company, johngaltmortgage.com, and also to Alpine Chemistry in St. Cloud, Minnesota. If you're not a premium subscriber and you want to watch this awesome post show, click on support us on truthhurtsnews.com or on Rumble. Click join. For those that are already sponsors or premium subscribers, we'll be live in 1 minute. For everyone else, we'll be back on Sunday night. Take care.